An upturned tortoise is the 9th most pathetic thing in the entire multiverse. Aliens, deities, and intelligent life forms thereupon. This is modern escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. In this universe, I am known as Oodles. To introduce my co-host this week, I decided to contact one of their multiverse variants to see just how they're getting on within the cosmic web. In this universe, he's the hyper-competitive husband and father of 2, but his variant is a somber, mild-mannered housewife called Stephanie. It's Stig.
That's both the same world as that world. Stephanie is my weekend name.
Yes. I'm laughing at my own script.
Let's hope you're not the only one, yeah?
Yeah. To us, he's a problematic southern man of the ocean and father of 1, but his variant is a gender-fluid YouTube content creator specialising in butt plug reviews. It's Biggie.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, our special guest. In this universe, he's what the indie podcast circuit know as the man that can get where water can't, and audio chlamydia. His variant in the multiverse is what the indie podcast circuit know as the man that can get where water can't, and audio chlamydia. Do you get it? From 100 things we learned from film and every podcast on the planet, it's Mark Planty! Round of applause.
I'm that burning sensation in your podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
For the listeners, you'll notice we're a 4-man crew today. The others are having extended holiday vacations, so we're just going to have the boys on tonight. And
Separating the wheat from the chaff.
That's
Unfortunately, the wheat's got other things to do.
Exactly. But thank you for joining us. Let's just crack on. So, in fact, though, before we do get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy and incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show notes, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. And now it's time for Which Magazine's segment of the year. It's Biggie's Breaking News.
That's right. Thanks, Oodles. News just in from last week. So we've got the Knives Out sequel. It is now officially titled Glass Onion, a Knives Out Mystery, and it's releasing this holiday season. I, for one, love the original. I'm really looking forward to this.
I like how it's not called Knives Out 2. It's got a name, and this is a Knives Out mystery. I kind of wish it had been called a Benoit Blanc mystery.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like Agatha Christie, how every Agatha Christie novel with Poirot is not called Poirot.
But I think it's more marketable Knives Out tale, isn't it? So
It'd be based on a Beatles track, right? I'm not a Beatles fan, but according to news segments, it's the title of a Beatles track.
yes, it is. Yeah,
It is.
he says, having learnt that on listening to another podcast this week.
It's all paying off.
Yep.
It's got a new ensemble cast, including the likes of Catherine Hahn, Ethan Hawke, and Dave Bautista, who's literally in every movie ever.
It's like Planty with podcast.
Yeah.
And
gotta
that's
look
where
at them
the
as well.
similarity ends.
No, you've got to look at him.
Oh, thanks, I think.
He's a handsome man, and so are you.
Moving on, after exiting Fast X, and I don't blame him, it didn't take Justin Lin very long. He's now revved up for another franchise. He's set to direct One Punch Man for Sony Pictures.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
live action, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not into this at all,
Okay.
but is One Punch Man any
You
good?
never
One
I
Punch
think
Man is great.
Have you
someone
not
sort of
watched
directed
One Punch Man? It's
No.
it's the best. It's
It's
incredible.
so good. It's surreal as fuck, but
It's anti-anime.
It's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
you talked about it before, didn't you, Stiggy? In the pod, didn't you? I'm sure you mentioned it.
You did
Yeah.
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah, it's very good. It's very anti-anime. It twists the cliches, and it's just anti-superhero as well. It's fantastic, One Punch Man. But as we all know, anime adaptations into movies,
Do you think it'll work as a live
Shit.
action?
Nope.
No.
Unless it costs $100 billion to make.
It literally like huge monsters and
Yeah, citywide kaijus.
cities. And cities getting blown up and like destroyed and stuff.
It's not going to work.
It's
not going to work.
I don't see how it'd work.
You can do that for pennies using the Muppet Babies skill of just using bits from other films.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could do that.
Reference for the kids there.
Just see Saitama just punching something and it's like the
Godzilla going,
scene from Independence Day. Yeah,
It's the Death Star exploding. Meanwhile, in another franchise.
I'm into
I
it.
love the Muppet Bay. I thought their parodies were wicked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, it's genius, that show.
That's a good
I also
show.
like Nanny's Knees, but I'm a pervert, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of
that's
which,
the thing.
There's not a segue here. A reality competition series called, that's right, Squid Game: The Challenge is in the works at Netflix. 456
Finally,
players will
killing
compete
people.
for 4.56 million by going through various challenges inspired by the series. So we really got people dying in this. Oh, that'll be fun.
I
That's how
assume
the Hunger
there's-
Games starts.
Yeah.
This is how the Running Man starts.
Yeah. Are we living in the RoboCop timeline now?
I think so.
climbing for coins?
Yeah.
All those 456 players are people that drop their subscription. So, don't do it.
Yeah.
Lads,
I
put all your money into crash mats. That's what I'm saying,
Fucking too
because
right.
they're going to need
Yeah.
a lot.
I did see a next Netflix employee tweet. So this is where our salary went when you waxed us.
They're going to be on the fucking show.
Yeah, it's just going to be like Takeshi's Castle, but maybe serious and then not as fun, isn't it?
No, what they should do, they should not shoot them with real guns, but absolutely blast them in the face with high-powered paint rifles. So it really does hurt.
Yeah.
You bastard. You're out.
It will be. I guarantee that. That first thing will be something like a paint gun. So they'll have to do that, walking towards, stopping, freezing, and if you move, you get shot with a paintball gun or something instead.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's 50 cal.
Tug of wars, and they fall off into a pile of pillows.
The doll thing with the crazy eyes reminded me of an ex-girlfriend. Would be very much it's Laser Quest, isn't it? It's got like you've got a thing on your chest, and as soon as the laser hits, it's like, oh no, that's number 17, Mr. Erasmus. He's out of there.
Yeah, you're out.
And he just slouches off. Oh, I'm very disappointed that I didn't get killed. Yeah, so are we,
Yeah.
mate. It's not what we signed up for. We took the parental guidance off of our Netflix accounts for this.
No, they should do it properly. They should do it like salary sacrifice. If you lose, you lose your job and you lose all your salary and stuff. That's what
And
it's
your
said.
dignity.
And your dignity, yeah, you have to get your
Well,
dick out and
I
stuff.
would argue that they lost that when they signed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I love Squid Games as a show, but this is a bad idea.
If Emmy applied for it and we all got on, I think Steve would be the person in the marbles game to go, Biggie, look over there. And I turn around, he swaps the fucking bag of marbles.
That's right, mate. You're getting cowgunned.
Yeah, that's true. What about that biscuit game where you got to lick the biscuit?
You'd be out.
I'm good
Just
at
be
licking.
eating it.
I'm good at licking. You'd have ate.
Now what?
I thought it was the quickest to eat a biscuit wins.
Can I have another?
Sorry. Does anyone have a vegan option?
Yeah.
So, moving on. Quote here from a certain Mr. Howard. Yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and, we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that, so our slate's pretty full going forward for a while. Now, I know some people
Standard
weren't
cycle.
impressed with Starfield. Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 all coming out.
Yay.
A lot of junk.
It's just a cycle. That is their cycle. It will be Starfield, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield 2, Elder Scrolls 7, Fallout 6. That's all
And
we'll
then,
do.
and then in between that, we'll get the Elder Scrolls TV show. We'll get the Fallout film. We'll get we know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
We've lived through it millions of times.
I don't really care because I'm not going to get any of that because I'm a PlayStation user, so I'm done.
Yeah, so
it's
am I.
fine.
I'm
It's
the
fine.
same.
You've deserted me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Next, the
Oh,
new
well.
DLC for Resident Evil Village includes a third-person mode that finally gives us a look at the elusive Ethan Winters.
Unless you modded it, and you can just see anyway. I'll go on YouTube.
You will also be able to play as Lady Dimitrescu, apparently.
What?
As one of the DLCs.
Now you have my interest.
But third person, what's scary about third person?
It's not scary, but it's just another excuse for a playthrough for me. Let's get that different perspective.
The whole thing about it being, head on it is scary, but I just think third person will take some of that away, and I'll just be like, I'll be left wanting.
Like 7 is the scariest that they've done. It was the first one they did first person properly, and it's not being topped. Do you know what I mean? They did Resident Evil 2 remake, and it's gorgeous. It makes you jump a bit, but it's not scary because you can always see round corners by moving the camera. But 7 is just absolutely terrifying from start to finish.
8 was only scary in the little dollhouse thing, the basement. You look down the corridor and you're like, it's pitch black and I can hear noises.
It's all about what you think's coming rather than what is.
Yeah, that scene in 7 when your girlfriend jumps at you and starts munching on you. That just freak the.
That's the bit that fucked me up in VR.
Yeah.
That is literally the bit that made me scream out loud, scream and throw my controller on the floor.
Don't blame you.
There's no way on earth I would play a VR game in this house because I know someone would grab me in real life just to wind me up. There's not a chance.
We got Brian Cox will voice the King of Rohan in Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim, the anime film. And
is that the actor Brian Cox or Professor Brian Cox?
it's Professor. No, it's the actor.
Oh, in the ring, amazing! Oh, I travelled all the way to Gondor for this.
It's fantastic.
I think they need to change that.
Don't you love Mordor? Jesus, no thanks. But that said,
better.
That said, Brian Cox, the Dundonian character actor, is the patron saint of my podcast, One Things Learned from Film. We love him. He is an absolute delight. And he's got that great tone and timbre and everything. Yeah. And when he shouts, you're scared and you're watching something. You
need that gravitas, don't you, in that sort of movie? He's definitely going to bring that.
Absolutely.
And it releases...
Space is shit.
The film releases April the 12th.
He's an underrated lector. I've always said that. Very underrated.
He's the best lector.
Yeah,
he's the best lector for me.
April the 12th, 2024, apparently.
I'll be dead by then. Next.
On that cheery note.
You're supposed to say, oh, no, don't.
Another show that should also be dead. HBO is developing a Game of Thrones sequel series with Kit Harington, of course it is, returning as Jon Snow.
Why?
Who asked for
that? He's in prison.
Why?
Is it going to be like Oz, but on the wall? That'd be really fucking good.
Traveling north.
What's it called? Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black Watch.
Yeah.
Yay.
There we go.
This thing writes itself.
Write that down.
Yeah.
HBO.
No one asked for that. Should have been on the last show. Square.
I always give HBO benefit of doubt because they're great. So.
I mean, there's a good chance it's going to work, but we've got the new one to see first, the prequel. So let's see. Square Enix has announced the second installment, finally, in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm looking forward to this.
Which again explains to the players, the upcoming players, that this is going to be different. When you call it Rebirth, it ain't going to be the same, and people are going to be angry. The neckbeards are already fuming.
New footage was shown.
Get over
Everyone's
it.
always angry.
The 25th.
The original game exists.
Yeah. If you want, go and buy that and play it on your PS1. Fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't let me stop you.
Let them tell a story, for fuck's sake.
The new footage was shown for its 25th anniversary celebration. And I quite liked what I'd seen. I thought it looks good.
I did, mate.
I'm glad they've been working on it. And then they've also confirmed apparently it's going to be the entire remake project will consist of 3 parts. So that's remake, Rebirth, and then an as yet unnamed third game. You got any R's for it?
Requiem.
Requiem. If it's that, fuck, it can fuck off.
Regurgitated.
No,
Requiem. It's gonna be Requiem.
Rim job.
Rim Job. Final Fantasy VII Rim Job. Yeah.
Final Fantasy Rim Job.
Reach around.
Mate, I buy it.
I mean, hang on, no, that's Final Fantasy 13, right?
Yeah, that's the Rim Job, absolutely. Fucking shite. I'll take it, mate, because the last one was great and it changed things. It made someone that's played it 1,000 times sit up and think, fuck, this is different. So, yeah, bang up for it.
Something else that I don't really think people have asked for, but it's coming our way apparently. The writer's room for the It prequel series, Welcome to Derry, has begun. Now, that can obviously go two ways, right? It's either going to be really, really good, or what the fuck were they thinking? Because most prequels just don't work out very well, do they?
Hang on, is that Welcome to Derry? Is it the multiverse ahead of a multiverse? Are they going to hang around with the girls from Derry Girls?
Now, that's a multiverse.
Imagine.
Now that, I tell you what, I do not fancy Pennywise's chances against the little
Not a
angry
chance.
blonde one.
Not a prayer. Not a prayer. They won't believe
I
in
kind
it.
of like the idea of seeing more Pennywise. I was really disappointed with part 2.
Yeah,
I think that
they didn't flesh him out enough.
I think he did a really good Pennywise, and I thought part 1 was really good.
Yeah.
And part 2 was a massive letdown.
The difference being, and I hate to say this to the kids that are in the first one, but in the second one, they had big stars, so they're going to put more emphasis on them over the clown.
I think
That's what's going to happen.
No,
Some
the
of
clown
CGI
is
was
the
shit
star,
as well.
basically.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and I think the big issue is all those kids in the first one were funny and cute and
Brilliant
all
kids.
did the kind of the little kids that the Goonies, the Stand By Me, the all the stuff that we're liking.
Yeah.
And then when they're adults, they're just not cute.
No,
They're just not
dickheads.
cute, and they're overly serious. And the kids at least had a bit of something about them. The other one, there was no laughs, and when there was laughs, I mean, who cast Bill Hader in something and doesn't use him for laughs?
Are you supposed to be a comedian in the thing in the
Yeah.
book?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think, like I say,
Go on.
the kids are.
They're great.
It's more peril in it when you're
Yeah.
watching it. It's a horror film. The kids are being scared and being chased. There's more peril there. It's more exciting to watch. But when they're adults, it's not there, is it?
There's that thing. I mean, I was talking to someone on Twitter about it, like, I never got into Stranger Things because like I'm a 40-year-old man and was not. I'm like, yeah, but you used to be a kid. You know exactly what it was like being a fucking kid.
You were a 40-year-old man, so you were a kid in this time.
Exactly.
So
Perfect.
you loved Ghostbusters, you loved Star
Yeah.
Wars, you probably loved Kate Bush.
Yeah.
You just look, forget everything you've done in the last 35 years and remember how fucking cool it was back then.
Exactly. Get back on your rally chopper. Fuck off. Oof.
And it's finally been confirmed that Ezra Miller will not be part of any future DC projects after The Flash. Yeah, he did well there, didn't he? A flash in the pan.
Prick.
Hey!
Look,
Aye.
stop this. You need to stop this right now. These little puns.
No, they're great.
I generally don't know what they're going to do with that film. I think it's going to get stuck on HBO Max to die. I just don't see them bothering putting it in the cinema.
Release the Miller
But
cut.
does it exist at enough of a level? Is there a chance that they're just not going to release it at all?
I think it's done. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much
finished.
done.
Yeah, I think they've done
Yeah.
post-production last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they're on with it. It's meant to come out this year, so they've got a date set for it.
Could they do an all the money in the world Kevin Spacey thing and replace him with
replace his
with
face.
somebody else?
I don't think so because he's too prominent of a he's front and center
Just
of the
do
whole
a
film, isn't he?
Grand Moff Tarkin and paint make his face look like somebody else.
Yeah.
Now I'm calling it now that just gets stuck on HBO Max without much
Watch it if you
fanfare,
want.
and they just kind of go, "This is fucked." They've already kind of decided to fuck off the DCEU. They turned down I think I saw something today. Is it Grant Morrison?
Which is one of the best comic writers of all time.
Yeah, he came up with a pitch to save the DCEU,
Told
and they
him to
weren't
fuck off.
interested.
He is
Wow.
honestly. I've got 4 comic books behind me. They're all Morrison's. He is
Yeah,
one
so-
of the best.
If you've got one of the best comic book writers coming up with a pitch to try and save it, and they're saying no, they're not asked.
Yeah.
They're clearly not asked with it anymore.
It's like imagine pissing off Alan Moore. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do this shit. Well, I don't know.
Yet you probably would.
Yeah.
Probably not the best example, that Oodles.
Yeah. Stanley.
Yeah.
He's retired.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to piss off Alan Moore because he'd piss himself off.
Yeah, that's true. Is that it,
Right,
Biggie?
one last one.
Oh.
Hello. Is it
Hello?
DLC you're looking for? I can see through your lies. I can't believe it's coming out in 2025. That's right. Halo Infinite has yet to receive any campaign DLC since its launch last year. And based on a new rumor from Dave or somebody on YouTube, it appears that the expansion won't be arriving before 2025. Now, Stiggy called bullshit on this, and it could well be, but that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Stig's always right with dates.
How can it be 2025? That is literally the gap between two new games.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Stig's right with dates. He's got a
He does.
precedent set. Don't
I
listen
just
to
don't
Dave.
see. I just do not see it being 3 years until we get the ability to play co-op Halo.
Stig's
or some
uncle
more
works for
DLC
Nintendo as
or
well,
anything.
so he gets insider knowledge.
Yeah, insider information on Microsoft.
Yeah, in Japan. Yeah. Wow. Do you know what? This is an announcement as well. I'm retiring from this podcast after that little song
You can help her.
because my credibility's gone out the window and it weren't even me. Cool. Right, let's get on with the Nexus now. I'm sure Planty is aware. This is the moment where we just ask what we've been up to this week. It could be anything. With Planty, obviously, he's never been on, so he's got 3 years' worth that he can talk about. So we may as well start with you, mate. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I've done it right, and I've picked things that specifically I've watched this week. Please tell me if I'm stepping on any toes, because of course
No.
I don't know what you guys have been watching. But with the first one, it's quite simple. This week I've been mostly watching. It's not a Biggie impression, although it kind of sounds like one.
A little bit.
I've actually been re-watching a TV show on BBC called Alma's Not Normal. Now this is it's a sitcom. It claims to be on the iPlayer a sitcom, but it's actually a bittersweet comedy about growing up in and out of care and the impact that has on you or anybody really as an adult. So it sounds really grim. I can't make this sound funny. It's one of those things where there's no funny things I can tell you that happen in it, but it is. The character in it, Alma, she's trying to make a career for herself as an actress, but she's still, in loads of ways, taking care of a drug-addicted mother. She's looking after her kind of tearaway grandmother who looked after her. So it does sound really grim, but it's really sweet. It draws on loads from the writer and the actor that plays Alma. She's called Sophie Willian. She recently won a BAFTA for Best Comedy Writer earlier in the year. She's really, really, really nice lassie. I was introduced to this by my co-host on Everything We Learn from The Simpsons. Get the plugs in, Tom. Because he lived in the same house as Sophie when he was at uni in Wigan. So he's one of her loudest supporters. So I'm really grateful that he gave me the opportunity to listen to this. It's only 6 episodes. I'm paying it forward from Tom, this one. They're all on the iPlayer. They've just commissioned a second series. Really is the perfect time to kind of get on it. For the Northerners, it's got lovely northern locations, such as Bolton, Wigan, Blackburn. No, it's got Manchester in it as well. And it's you get a nosebleed if you come up here, Biggie. Yeah. But it's a really nice story, and at the end it has a payoff. So whilst you're kind of up and down, it's got some really good kind of comedy actors in it, including a couple of members of Rita, Sue, and Bob too. That's probably one for Biggie more than anybody else.
I've seen it.
I fucking lived it, mate.
Agadoo in it.
I grew up round the corner from where it was filmed, youth.
Agadoo in that, weren't they?
Yeah, really good. No, Black Lace, I think.
Was the name of the band. Yeah,
We're having a gangbang.
They're having a gangbang. Yeah, against the wall. So do give that a time. It's a perfect time to get on it, as far as I'm concerned, and it's a lot of fun.
That's Alma's not normal for listeners.
Alma's not normal. Yeah, absolutely. Went to the cinema for a rare opportunity this week. I took our lass uptown to the cinema.
With a neck in.
See Morbius.
No, it wasn't Morbin. There was no Morbin. There was no Morbin
He's not
going
going
on
on
in
my
Carlisle.
pod art again. He's not doing it.
My wife has a hearing disability. So it's probably the only reason I finally managed to get a woman to live with me, the loudest man in any room. And we've only got one cinema in Carlisle, and they only put one film for one showing every week on subtitled, which I think is an absolute fucking disgrace of you, Carlisle. I'm calling you out on this, the biggest podcast I've ever been on. It's for all 6 listeners. Yeah.
6,000, actually.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. But this week we went to see Jurassic World Domination.
Oh,
I've heard good things from Stig about this.
Stig's going, because I'm jumping on his thing here, so I'll keep it
I've
brief.
not watched it. I've just heard.
Right,
things.
okay. Well, I'm going to say it, right?
This is the official Emmy review now, by the way.
Yeah,
this
no one
official.
else is saying it at the minute. But if you go to a Jurassic World film for the human story, you are the problem. Right? You have no idea what you're going to the cinema for. This isn't fucking Darren Aronofsky. It's Dinosaur Aronofsky. It doesn't really work. I need to give that another run round.
Needed workshop.
It did need a... Yeah. We should have done this before. Oh, damn it. Anyway, what this has got going for it is it's got at least 45 minutes. I didn't time it because I don't want to be that wanker. We're on my phone in the cinema timing it. At least 45 minutes of dinosaurs in it in a 2-hour film, which is probably about half an hour too long. And it's really, really good for dinosaur action. It's got so many beasts and monsters and things you've never seen before. There's loads of them. One of them, Edward Scissorclaws, is pretty cool. I liked him. He comes in, giving it the and
Cutting people's hair, was he?
Yeah, that's yes, cutting Dice Brallis Howard's hair. That's not her name. So it's I really enjoyed the dinosaur bits, and then I just zoned out anytime Chris Pratt was on. But I pretty much do that for most Chris Pratt films, to be honest.
He's on everything.
He is, isn't he? It's
He was
him,
going to be on this
Chris
show
Pratt.
tonight, but he said, "Is Planty on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not coming on."
Does this sound like David Hayter?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know what Chris Pratt really sounds like. He's the man of many
Sounds
talents.
like Mario.
It's me, Chris Pratt.
But I just saw someone had just said, what happened to Chris Pratt? Went from Parks and Rec to being really energetic and really likable in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then every film since he's just phoning it in as the same character.
Because he's married to a Kennedy / Schwarzenegger now. He doesn't need to do anything. He's set for life.
He makes enough money from the back ends from Marvel to just do nothing.
Where does this rank in the whole Jurassic Park?
There's only one good Jurassic Park film.
Well, steady. They've all got their own thing going on.
I've always said I like the parts of the Lost World. There are some very good parts of the Lost
I like
World.
parts of the Lost World.
It just kind of falls off a cliff at the end.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
Literally.
Yeah. I think it's better than what was the last one?
Fallen Kingdom. Anything.
Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic Park, the crying long neck, I think it was called.
We watched
film.
that in the lead up to going to watch this, and that first hour is pretty good. Until it turns into an auction, which obviously, having just left the job as an auctioneer, really kind of gave me a bit of cringe.
Tonight we're selling a Velociraptor. Can I get $5 on the Velociraptor?
I never sold anything quite as cool as a fucking Omniraptor. Unfortunately,
they go relatively cheap as well, don't they?
Well,
they don't go for a lot of-
$80,000.
You would think that a dinosaur might go for 500 million or something stupid.
yeah, but there's the really kind of bad Russian bastard who's like, I am buying this dinosaur for my daughter, and you're like,
oh yeah,
okay, yeah. So you want to spend a lot of money to murder your own child? That's great, fantastic.
I am going to post you, Planty, my letterbox review of this of Fallen Kingdom.
Okay, I'm excited for it.
read it on the toilet.
It is just a rant. It is a rant, and I don't rant about many films, but I just could not contain myself with that.
It's not a spoiler to say at the very, very beginning, like the very first scene, where we're reintroduced to Claire or whatever she's called, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, and she's gone from being this corporate shill in the first one to being somebody that's kind of working to get dinosaurs recognized. All of a sudden, she's in the unconditional Irish, army. She's basically wanting to just destroy everything and everybody. She's got a balaclava on. She's doing the lot, and you're kind of like, how have you fallen so far in this, or how have you just gone mental in this 3-film arc? It doesn't work, and I don't believe the character.
She took the high heels off,
or any of them. Oh yeah, and they're very keen, like they were in the last one, to show her shoes at all times to go, see, that thing you all fucking moaned about, we fixed that, that. Yeah, but you haven't made the humans interesting. None of them. Not even the 3 that were interesting in the first one.
That's a shame.
Yeah, massive shame. But it'll get rebooted in like 6 years, so...
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well, it won't even get... Jurassic Park rim job.
Rim job, yeah, that's the one. Rim jobosaurus.
And I've had the week off. I had to start a new job next week.
We can
and
tell.
I've actually played some video games. I played a little bit of FIFA 22 because it was free. Try to get Carl out of the Premier. Try to get Carl out of the Premier League. It's not happened. I got very quickly bored of that. But I've had my PS5 for over a year now. Show off in it. And only this week have I got round to playing Marquette. I don't know if you guys have played Marquette.
Oh, I love Marquette. Love it.
Yeah, it's part of that remaster set you get with PS5, or it's one of the PS Plus games. I can't remember.
Yeah, you got it for free.
Yeah, it was early on, yeah. But it's a walking sim with a different puzzle each level, this little story. Yeah, I'm not hating it. I played about an hour, and it's nice enough. It's every kind of level has a puzzle you've got to do involved in this little model village. If you want to be a big man, fuck off down the model village. And it's just the one puzzle actually. But I expect they bond. It's about the story of these characters bonding over drawing in this book, and I'm not that far in, but I assume that by the end of it, she murders him and smears his blood across the last 2 pages of the book, like Andy sending his message to Ving Rhames in that Schneider Dawn of the Dead when he's just drawing that with blood. Anybody?
I remember.
Zombie film reference doing it for anybody?
That's one of the. I like that film quite a lot.
Yeah. So do we. Previous episode. Yeah, that's me. I've been busy doing that.
Fucking fantastic. Stig, what you been doing?
I watched some more Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I wish I'd watched episode 5 before I came on the podcast last week, because it just reaffirmed how much this show is Star Trek and how good it is.
Really?
You went from an episode that was life and death, having to think outside the box and do something clever to get out of this situation where they could not win. And the next episode was a body swap episode, and 2 of the crew members fucked off and were playing Enterprise Bingo. You know what I mean? Like the difference in the contrast between the different 2 episodes, like that's pure Trek. Like one week is this horrendous life and death situation, the next week is a comedy episode, and it was still really well written and really fun. I'm really
waiting while
they're
all on. Are they all on now? I'm gonna just
no, it's weekly. It's still going out.
Oh, when they're all on, I'm just gonna smash them in a week.
It's really good. I also watched Hustle based on your recommendation. Really enjoyed that.
It's fucking, what a shame though. It's brilliant. What a fucking shame.
When he's got a script and something good to do, he can act. The boy can act.
Yeah, he can. Bastard.
But the main thing I did do this week was I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Excellent.
Now we're talking.
It came out on Xbox Game Pass this week, as well as all the other platforms.
Everything. I think it came on everything, didn't it?
This is a new side-scrolling beat-em-up from Tribute Games, and it's really fucking good. I had such a good time playing this. It's very short, like most of these are, especially when you play with 4 other players on normal mode, and you just smash through it. But I really want to go back and play this on hard. So you can play up to 6 characters on this game, and I really want to go back and play with 6 people and just get through this. It was absolutely chaotic with 4 of us, so I have no idea what it would be like with 6 of us.
I'm so up for it. I am really up.
It starts with a wonderful like cartoon intro with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song, proper animated visuals, all these, you know, if the nostalgia just gets pumped from there, it gets you going from the go. And yeah, it just has all the usual side-scrolling goodness, waves of different enemies, fun, colorful environments, an array of different bosses each level. There's some lovely nods there to like the original cartoon as well as the 90s live-action films.
I love that.
So that was nice to see when you were going around and doing these levels and you'd spot a reference and you're like, that's from one of the films. That's definitely not from the cartoon. So that was really nice.
I've seen the trailer for it. It looks really, even the trailer's done really
So
well.
good.
Yeah, it really is. It's really good. You level up as you kind of go along. You unlock new abilities and move sets and special moves. Like I said, I played with there was three of the people. One of them was Punk, who was already a level ahead of us, so was smashing it even more than we were. He has beaten it on hard mode already.
That's his genre though. He always plays beat 'em ups.
Absolute pro gamer.
And there would be a pro
Yes.
podcaster.
It's just chaos. The whole way through. It's just
Who did you play as, Stig? This is an important one.
Michelangelo.
Good
I knew you
choice. It's the only choice. It's the only choice.
I bagged Mike. He started. He's always my favorite. He's always been my favorite. And the thing
Casey
is,
Jones, mate.
you can't play as Casey Jones to start with.
Oh,
So
such a shame.
you have to beat the game once to unlock Casey. So
That
you
was
can play
accepted.
as the Four Turtles, Splinter, or April O'Neil. Obviously, we played the Four Turtles because why the fuck wouldn't you?
Obviously.
I played as Michelangelo because you get three different stats, which are, I did write this down and I've lost my notes. I think it's power, range, and speed. And Michelangelo doesn't have very good range because obviously it's just nunchucks, but his speed and his speed is full and his power was mid. So getting combos with him was brilliant because the speed on him was just like with the nunchucks, you just go nuts.
Plus, you're a party dude, aren't you, Stig?
Oh, I am a party dude. It actually does as well. You can make him do a little action which boosts up your special move. And Michelangelo does a little dance, and he's like party dude, and does a little dance. So I just kept doing that all the way through the game.
Didn't get annoying for the others at all.
Oh, they were
No.
doing it. They were doing it with their characters because they were leveling up their own special moves. It's just they're fighting someone, and I'm just there dancing away in the background, trying to get my meter up.
And I bet Leonardo's like, let's move on. Let's go, turtles.
Oh no, he's all like something. He says something along the lines of like, "I have to be Zen" or something or something.
Dull bastard.
Donatello.
He's the Cyclops of turtles, isn't he?
He is the Cyclops of
He's
turtles.
No one
everybody's
remembers him.
least favourite.
I can't remember what Raph did, but I know Donatello squats down and plays a Game Boy. He looks like he's having a
Yeah, 'cause
shit.
he's a tech guy, isn't he? He's a nerd.
Yeah. But the art style is amazing. It looks like a proper cartoon, like the 16-bit. It's not it doesn't look fully 16-bit, but it's kind of going for that in between look. Make you feel like you're kind of playing an episode. The music is fantastic. It does like your standard kind of 80s like vibe music, but then every now and again they just throw in a hip hop track, which is really cool. Sound effects, they're glorious. I really, really enjoyed it. It's like I said, it's a couple of hours on normal. I want to go back and play it on hard, but you know it has multiple difficulties, unique endings for each character. Like I said, Casey Jones is unlocked after the first go around, so you can play through it again with him. There's challenge modes, arcade modes. There's loads of little challenges you could do throughout if you want to extend the game as well.
Oh, it's reviewed really well as well. Fuck.
Oh, it has
yeah.
really,
Sky
really well.
high, man.
If you like those 16-bit arcade turtle games, like this is a worthy successor, big time. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, it's 1 gig to download.
Wow.
Wow.
It's 1 gig to download, so it wouldn't take you that long to download.
5-minute
It's
download.
2 to 3 hours, depending on how good you are at these games or how many friends you can play with.
A beat 'em up can be an hour long, mate. It's the multiple playthroughs it's all about.
It's so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
It's 30 quid on
recommend.
the Switch, so I'm not quite in a position to get it just yet.
Need to get an Xbox. This is
No,
Xbox Game Pass.
Even if I had an
Yeah.
Xbox, like the Switch would still be my desired console. I want to play Turtles on the toilet.
You want to play Turtles with a turtle head popping out?
Yeah,
That's great.
that's
Yeah,
that's the dream,
That's
isn't it,
the-
guys?
It is. That is the dream. Yeah.
Is that everything you've got there, pal?
Yes.
Brilliant. Dig it.
So, for me, after a lot of Fallout chat, I decided to go back to Fallout 4. Picked up where I left that and just started roaming
Go
the
you.
wastelands. Yeah, just
Got so
I
topical
got
as
into
well.
it though. I've quite enjoyed it, so it's grabbed me for a little bit. I unfortunately may have cocked
Mhm.
up and missed out on seeing Top Gun Maverick in the IMAX, so I ended up seeing it at something called Screen X. Have you guys heard of this or seen this?
Yes, I have, and I've not heard
It's
good
really
reviews
weird.
on Screen X.
So you go into what appears to be a
Yeah.
normal cinema. You got a nice big curved screen at the back. We sort of sat in the middle row, sort of a bit further back, so it was perfect viewpoint. The movie starts, all good. And then as soon as you start getting the aircraft carrier sort of scene at the beginning, the walls on either side turn into screens. So at times,
The aspect
yeah,
ratio is mental.
your eyes can't take it all in. So you have to sort of kind of scan across as you're looking at the main screen. And
I saw Dunkirk in
it's
Screen
weird.
X.
It looks like somebody hasn't quite got the ratio right for their projector. So the picture comes
fucking
across
shite.
like
I hate
3
it.
walls. It's really weird. And then there are scenes.
And there's a gap.
Yes.
There's a
And
gap
then
in
there's
between the
scenes
screens.
like, I don't know, for sake of argument, Maverick meets his ex-girlfriend in the bar and the walls disappear. So you've just got that main screen at the back, and then it comes on back on again for big scenes and stuff. So I mean, it doesn't take.
It does that thing that it does that thing that remember Dark Knight where you could see the IMAX scenes when the black bars come in. If you ever watch Dark Knight on DVD or Blu-ray, you can see the bars come in for the IMAX mode, and then it disappears again. It does that, but it's more
Yeah, but I
noticeable.
mean, it
Doesn't
didn't detract anything from the movie. I mean, like
Fucking
everybody's already
awful.
said, such a awesome movie. I thought it was fantastic. the you cannot fault the action. The scenes in the air are just something else. They really are. The characters are fine. The dialogue is cringy as fuck, but I expect that really. It's very Team America. Fuck yeah. Um, but yeah, it's fine. It's an absolutely brilliant movie. Apart from that, and yeah, really uplifting movie as well. Really enjoyed it. But the main thing I want to talk about is that I got invited to cover somebody who couldn't make it originally to go and see Cluedo, the classic board game, as a play. So yeah, this was put
Oh
on
shit!
locally in Brighton, so I went down to Brighton to see this. It's basically based on the film Clue. If anyone's ever seen that with Tim Curry.
Oh yes,
Fucking
it's
Yeah,
a
love
yeah.
that
great
film.
film.
I adore that film.
We've considered doing it for a podcast, but as I do all the notes, I keep turning it down because it's going to probably be about 9 pages of notes.
Yeah,
While John
there's
just
so much
sits there
drama
listening
on
to
that.
me lose my fucking mind. Yeah, no
There was
thanks.
so
You
much
have to
drama
do
on
that
the
So-
production of that.
episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I remember, I've seen that movie as well, long time ago though. But yeah, it's basically a brand new comedy thriller. So, very brief plot: when Miss Scarlet, which was played by Michelle Collins from EastEnders, um, Professor Plum was played by Daniel Casey, who used to appear in Midsummer Murders, amongst other things. And then the rest of the cast are as Mrs. Peacock, Reverend Green, Mrs. White, and Colonel Mustard. They arrive at a party. They're surprised to find that they have all received the same invitation from Lord Body. It soon becomes clear they all have secrets, and the mystery and hysteria grow when the inhabitants of Body Manor are killed off with a variety of familiar weapons. It's directed by Mark Bell, who's done a lot of other plays similar to this kind of thing. It's very farcical. The first parts, obviously, there's an interval in the middle. It's sort of the build up. You meet all the characters, and then the first 1 or 2 deaths appear. And it was fine. It was okay. We kind of looked at each other, and the interval came up. Went to get another drink. We were kind of like not quite sure where this is going. Thought it was going to be better, and then second half really picks up. Everything becomes really sort of lots of bumping into each other, really random murders, really funny dialogue. I want to give a particular big shout out to Jean-Luc Worrell, who played Wadsworth the butler. He's absolutely amazing in this. Everyone was very good, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely one of the stars of the show. His I don't know what you call it, his body comedy and stuff like that. It's just really, really good in this. And yeah, we really enjoyed it by the end of the show. We're glad that we went. They are still touring around the country. I have to bring up the list somewhere where else they're going.
Did you get a little tub of ice cream in the interval
Yeah, I'm not going to pay that.
for a tenner?
I can quickly tell you where they are going. They're going to be in Malvern. No idea where that is. Salford, Glasgow, and
You sponsored by this
Cornwall.
production?
No, it's just saying if people want to still catch it, you've got until the end of July.
Okay.
Those sound like French places.
But yeah, it was absolutely fine. It was a good stage show. Really enjoyed it. The comedy was spot on. And yeah, it was really cool. Where obviously, as like in most plays, the actors themselves have to bring on all the different sets at different times, and they all did that really well with a bit of comedy as well, and pulling the big, massive walls around to bring out the next scene. They all did that absolutely perfectly well. Yeah, really, really good. Good night out. Something different, right? So yeah, really enjoyed it.
I haven't been to a play since I went to see
Yeah.
Avenue Q, you know, the Muppets, the swearing Muppets.
Oh yeah.
And that must have been about 10 years ago. Fucking hell. I actually do like plays.
I wonder if does it follow like the film narrative, or I wonder if they switch up the killer.
Yeah,
They
because I
have a few
know,
different-
yeah. Is it different?
Yeah, I just wonder in the stage show whether they're like, right, we're doing this killer this tonight, another night we're doing that
Imagine-
one. So
yeah,
if
better
you
improv.
see it twice, you
Yeah.
get a different. Yeah, you get a
Oh,
different
yeah.
ending.
Not in this.
That would be
By the
clever.
sounds of it, no.
Yeah.
I might ruin it in case
Okay.
somebody might want
Well,
to go
the
and see
Mr.
it.
Trick. Yeah, don't spoil it.
You should definitely watch the film Cluedo. I'm gonna watch that. I think
I
Been
love,
so
I love
long.
Clue.
It's
I think
great.
it's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
really good.
Tim Curry's.
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
it for me.
Excellent. Right. I haven't done much this week apart from get my new bike. I'm a cyclist now. I know. Can you fathom a thing? Planty will know. You know Wakefield, don't you?
I do. Yeah. Sadly.
So I try. Yeah. I ride a bike from Wakefield to Pontefract. It's further than you think on a bike.
10 mile.
Yeah, 10 miles. 10 between 10, 12 mile. Fucking hell, my ass is still shaking. I haven't ridden a bike, especially on a road, in about 15 years. I forgot how much abuse you get as a cyclist.
Yeah, motorists hate cyclists, and I'm not a cyclist, but as a well, I like to think of myself as a considerate motorist. Be fucking nice. You know,
I was shitting myself.
You're in a ton of fucking metal, and your man there's on a bit of aluminium. Be fucking nice.
Shit, missing, but I got it. I didn't expect me to do that long a trip on my first ride, because I got one of those electric assisted ones. You know, where if you pedal, you press that button and it just gives you that little leg up. It's not an electric one, as in a throttle. I don't think they're legal in Britain anymore.
All
I don't
right.
think they ever were.
Should have got yourself a moped.
We are the mods,
Yeah,
mods.
Oh, I used to have a moped when I was younger. I did have a moped.
Bell
I used to
boy.
fucking love that. We called it a plonk. It was a little fucking pedal and pop. Remember them?
Yep.
Pedal and
Yes, I
pop,
do.
Jesus. I had a 50cc bike. Like,
Oh yeah, man, 50cc, a beauty.
but mine was like a proper, like a motorbike, like a Aprilia Iris 50. They were
Oh,
designed.
Aprilla, yeah.
They were designed to look like the big bikes,
But they
obviously-
sounded like a Vespa.
yeah.
Is there a mosquito in here?
Quickly bring
Yeah,
this
it
into
was
the
basically that,
conversation,
but-
just very quickly.
Yeah,
The fuck
go
have
on.
they got mods running around in the book of Boba Fett, for fuck's sake?
I don't.
Who come up with that?
Actually,
That's awful.
space mods. There were
Just what was
space
sitting
mods.
there
There's a
like,
difference.
So fucking
What are
bad.
they doing? I can fuck off.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine
you don't
trying
like
to
space
keep?
rockers either.
Can you imagine trying to keep your space moped clean with all that sand? You know, it's
gets
coarse
everywhere.
and it gets everywhere. Exactly.
Joke City. But yeah, I survived that. And then I got home and watched a film on Netflix by Joseph Kosinski, director of Top Gun Maverick. Great director by all accounts.
That's-
Not for this film that I watched called Spiderhead.
Oh dear.
Starring everyone's man crush Chris Hemsworth and everyone's man crush Miles Teller. You'd expect a film from this kind of caliber, because two great leads, fantastic leads. I don't care what you think, they are great leads, and obviously directed by someone that's now got a pedigree, but I'm not sure which came first, the chicken or the egg, because this film's fucking shit. Really, really shit.
Yeah.
It's a Netflix film, and again, Netflix, you get one good film every 4 or 5 months, don't you? Rather than... Because didn't they aim for one film a month or something like that? Something stupid along those lines.
Yeah, they pick up a lot in distribution as well. They pick up a lot of stuff that hasn't got a distributor. Yeah.
And this is...
And I think this is one, eh?
Yeah, we know the concept as soon as I start telling you. It's about Chris Hemsworth. He's the warden of a very futuristic and holistic prison where the inmates are allowed to roam about as they want. There's an open door policy. They can literally go into the warden's area if they want to chat to him. And who wouldn't want to chat to a warden if he looked like Chris Hemsworth? Because you would, wouldn't you? But
Absolutely.
yeah, and these are prisoners that were in normal prisons, and they applied to become part of this experimental prison. This experimental prison is based on drug testing, pharmaceutical drugs. It's almost near future type of thing. It seems like it's about 10, 20 years in our future, and they're trying like all sorts of crazy pharmaceuticals that either make you shit yourself or make you dead horny or all things you can imagine, and it just leads to fuck all. It's just it was such a good start. The start, I was like, oh, here we go. And Miles Teller's doing that thing where his mouth's open and you just can't believe it because he does that, doesn't he? But I like it when he does that. I like it because he's got good like film eyes. He knows where to look and where to put his face and stuff. But and Chris Hemsworth doing that that funny fourth thing that he does where he's charming, he smiles, he's quite witty, and that's about it. Really, it's such a dull film. Like I predicted the ending before I was like a quarter through, and that's not a good sign.
It's based on a short story, isn't it? So
it's based on a short story, yeah.
And I've heard that it would make a good short Black Mirror episode. That's about it. And
this is what I was about to say. It is like a really extended Black Mirror, but not every Black Mirror episode hit, did it? Not in my opinion, anyway. I don't think they were all good. And this one, this film is just a proper miss.
To my mind, any film that opens with a title that says based on a New Yorker article needs to get in the bin.
Yeah, they've never done a good one.
No. or haven't done one at all. You know, I would argue. Yeah.
It's just fucking It's one of those things where you want to like it because everyone in it's charismatic and well acted. It leads to nothing.
It's a great idea, really badly executed. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think if you've got, it's not an overly long film. It's only about an hour and a half. If you've got a spare afternoon, I mean, don't watch it with kids. There's blood and shagging in it. But maybe you like it. I can't give it no more than like a 2, and that's me being generous, really generous. 2 out of 5.
Give it a miss.
Sorry, it's just what it is, isn't it? I want this director to go on to bigger, better things because obviously people are adoring Maverick. So hopefully this is just that one of those get it off your chest, learn how to become a director type thing.
See, here's a question for all of you. Outside of Thor and the probably Cabin in the Woods, because I know as a regular listener, I know you've spoken quite well about Cabin in the Woods, all of you. What's Hemsworth been in that's been any good?
Home and Away.
No, was that not his brother? Was he in it?
No, I think
I've never watched any.
as well.
No, he was the Home and Away one.
This is a controversial opinion. I thought he was the best thing in Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, the Make the Call movie.
Yeah,
it's the only thing I can remember
really
from Ghostbusters.
He is funny.
Extraction was fine.
Okay,
Extraction was
nothing
fine.
out of that.
I
got nothing. I
didn't get anything out of it. It was fine. I didn't hate it, but everything else he's done is, The Huntsman, but that was terrible.
Oh, that was bad. It was in the remake of Red Dawn, or was that his brother?
Yeah, he was. Snow White and the Huntsman. Oh, Rush is meant to be good.
I haven't seen it.
No, Rush is really good. Really, really, really good. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Behind me on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched it yet.
No, Rush is genuinely spellbinding. It's a fantastic, fantastic film. But I think what it is with Hemsworth, especially since he's been like swole for Thor, it's harder for him. Like when he's in this, and he's supposed to be like a super duper smart, like smartest man in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And you just look at him and going, why waste that figure on pharmaceuticals? Look at you. What's the point? It makes
surely
no sense.
Surely it's the body pharmaceuticals built.
Yeah, it's like if you imagine like you did a biopic about something. I'm not even a biopic, like just one of those things, and you had like The Rock as a hot dog salesman. It wouldn't work because it's The Rock. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look the part, and it throws me off a little. I think they should have swapped place. I think Miles Teller should have been the
that sounds like that
pharmaceutical
will work.
doctor in this, and Chris Hemsworth
Should have
been
been
the prisoner.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
I think it would have made it way more, and we'd have got to see him shag. So
He's playing Hulk Hogan soon, isn't he?
I think he's going to make or break in this to see if he can actually enter like that role of somebody that we all know, we all really, really know, and I want to see if it's like warts and all.
That's why he's been pumping. That's why his arms are absolutely massive.
He's ridiculous, mate. He's wearing this suit in this film.
For Hulk Hogan.
Fucking arms are popping out of this suit. He's like, Dave Bautista when he's got a suit on. You look ridiculous, mate.
Is there going to be a bit in this Hulk Hogan film where he gets his knob out just because too much pork, brother?
Yeah,
I hope so. I really hope so.
Do you think they're going to do that bit where he's on the infamous podcast appearance?
No, they're not going to do any of that.
Literally going to be him and his hair there, and
it's going to end when he gets the championship, isn't it, or whatever?
It ends when he slams Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. I'm calling it now. That's when the film ends.
Yeah,
to the Rocky music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might end when he's Thunderlips.
He slayed the giant at the biggest event at the time ever. Yeah. That's when it ends. Yeah.
I do really, really like Chris Hemsworth. He's got charisma and he's great to look at, and you can say to the wife like, "Oh, do you want to come watch this Chris Hemsworth film?" Yeah, sure. Sure. So they just jump in and you've got company then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spiderhead. Can't recommend it, unfortunately. Sorry. And I think that is the Nexus. It definitely is. So what we're going to do now is on to the main topic. And when a guest comes on this show, they then lead. And I know Planty is a podcast host, so this is going to go without a hiccup. Take it away, Planty. You have the stage.
So I wanted to pose a question that is relevant, I think, to what's going on in cinema at the moment. Multiverses are the thing. So currently we've got multiverses in Marvel. We're looking at multiverses in various different kind of indie films. So multiverses are really where it seems to be going. So what I wanted the other host to do and you listeners at home to do was to kind of come to us and tell us if you could make a multiverse out of any number, and it could be an infinite number of properties, and smash them all together to make a film or a book or a series, or if you could possibly anyway get, I don't know, superheroes into your own reality, how would you do it? So I'm hoping that we've all come up with something a little bit different, and we haven't all gone Batman versus Superman.
A good one.
Yeah.
No, mine is different. I think.
Mine's very different as well. It's up to you, Plank. You do the order, mate. You're in charge.
All right, fantastic. Right, okay. I'll throw myself in the middle somewhere. I'll have a little sandwich. But we'll start with Biggie, I think.
Street Fighter.
Age before beauty,
Mortal
of course.
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. We know it is.
Street Fighter. No.
Cluedo / Clue. Oh, brilliant. Well done. Yeah.
Very smart.
Alan Partridge has had enough of everyone getting Bond wrong. No matter whether his VHS copy of The Spy Who Loved Me gets copied over or his acquaintances mix up the movie titles and scenes, he is done. He approaches the BBC with a new series idea of reenactments of the Bond movies in chronological order, starring, of course, himself, and he's calling it Bondage. He even offers to co-fund it for the money he's made from the Bouncing Back and Crash Bang and Wallop book and DVD sales. but he's laughed out the office. Frustrated, he uses unique knowledge of the hidden pathways of the BBC to break into their archives and tries to steal the entire Bond collection and specials that have been aired on TV. If he can't have Bond, no one can. He sets the alarms bells ringing and he panics trying to get out. He inadvertently stumbles into the BBC Research and Development Labs as they're conducting an unofficial experiment overseen by Brian Cox to see if they can get an actual TARDIS to work. Alan trips over some equipment and the Bond collection sails through the air as he sets off a chaotic chain of events of films, footage, electricity, explosions, time, and wormholes get sucked in and then explode outwards. Alan comes round to discover the building half destroyed. He takes this opportunity to get out after surveying the scene and everyone else around him is still shell-shocked. He swiftly leaves the BBC, grabs what's left from his car, including the Toblerones and Terry's chocolate oranges, finds his PA, Lynn, sitting there covered in dirt with her hair all blown out, completely done. As he swiftly turns away, he's almost run over by Sean Connery's Bond, speeding out of the parking lot into an Aston Martin DB5. Alan instantly recognises him as Bond. Bond is intrigued to know how he knows who he is. Sorry, old boy, I need your help. Get it, old chap. That's the worst Connery impression, but I don't do impressions.
Is it since he died?
Yeah,
brought him back.
Reanimated Bond.
Like talking.
Fucking hell.
Zombie Connery.
Oh, God.
Bond believes the explosion was created by Spectre and needs to get to HQ quick and speak with them. But he needs some guidance as everywhere looks so different. Alan, whilst utterly confused and yet excited, agrees, but cannot bring himself to admit this was all down to him. Bond has to trust Alan and confides into him where the HQ is. They use a sat-nav to get there. As they arrive, David Niven, George Lazenby, Timothy Dalton, Brosnan, and of course Daniel Craig all find their own way there in all their respective famous cars and pretty much arrive at the same time. Connery grabs Alan and takes him inside and leaves him all of a sudden with several money pennies. Again, once inside, all the M's are there too. And they've come to the conclusion that after some weird experiment has gone wrong and brought the Bonds from each universe into Alan's. Not only that, but the money pennies and all the M's too, M&M's. Roger Moore calls in to explain he's going to be late, but he's still stuck on the Chiswick roundabout. Unfortunately, this has brought the variations of Blofelds and others, and all their henchmen too. They're all naturally looking for global domination after they kill off all the weaker villains like Kamal Khan and Dominic Green. Anyone remember them?
Yeah.
They must be located immediately and dealt with. The Bonds must find a way to work together with an assortment of the gadgets, of course, provided by all of the Qs, whilst Alan impressively uses his vast knowledge of the Bondverse to save the day.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen,
bravo.
I give you bondage.
I am not following that.
Did you mention Barry Nelson? He was a Bond.
Huh?
Peter Sellers, did he get in there?
Yeah.
For a
You
minute
missed
as
two
well.
Bonds. Barry Nelson was the first ever person to portray Bond.
Biggie, stop getting Bond wrong.
Come on.
Exactly. I thought it was David Niven was the first one.
Oh,
No, the American guy was a guy called Jimmy Bond, CIA agent.
Jimmy Bond, yeah.
I didn't
Jimmy
know that.
Bond. Yeah, there you go.
And who was the other one you mentioned?
Oh no, David Niven was. Sorry, Sellers was. I'm sure he played James Bond.
He does in
That
Casino Royale.
Because
so did David Niven.
It's not a real
You've
film,
also
is
not
it?
coward.
You've also missed host of Blockbusters, Bob Holness, who was the
Holness,
first
God.
person to play James Bond not on TV or film. He did an audio drama in South Africa. There you go. 100 things you learn from Bond. Get in.
You know nothing about Bond.
Clearly.
Aha!
Brilliant. I loved that.
Excellent.
That is. Oh God, I'm just so happy with that. Stiggy, do you want to go?
Oh, I'll give it a go.
Give it a whirl.
Right. So we open up on a sunny summer's day. There's not a cloud in the sky, just a nice summer breeze wafting across the lake. Out in the lake, a body swims around, ducking and diving in and out of the water. The body in the lake is none other than Daffy Duck. Suddenly,
Here we go.
there's a loud boom, and a portal from another dimension opens, and out steps Darkwing Darkwing Duck, Howard the Duck, Abby Mallard, and Affleck Duck, the mascot from American Insurance Company. Ladies and gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Darkwing, the Quackening.
Oh, the quackening. Into it already.
After Negaduck travels from the Negaverse to wreak havoc on Calistoto until he comes head-to-head with Darkwing and the Justice Ducks. After a fearsome battle, Darkwing defeats Negaduck and locks him away. These are all real characters, by the way.
I know they are.
I haven't made any of these characters up. All throughout this, Magica Del Spell, who has been working on a way to cross the multiverse, breaks out Negaduck to aid her. With him being the only duck who knows how to travel between parallel universes, he is the key to her success. She tells Negaduck why she wants to travel across the multiverse. There's a special link and power between sentient ducks that travels through the multiverse. It's what allows them to be more than just your average duck, and what allows them to be talk and do human things. The power travels through these ducks until there is one last standing who has it all, hence the Quackening.
There can be only one duck.
She has found a way to harness this power, but needs Negaduck to get her across the multiverse. So they form a pact to help each other, and be the last two ducks left to rule the multiverse together. Months go by, during which Calistoto is left in ruins. All of Darkwing's companions are murdered one by one, leaving only himself and Gizmo Duck left. When all hope seems lost, suddenly a portal booms open and Howard the Duck, the really shitty 80s version, comes through. He explains that another version of himself, from something called the MCU, travelled across the multiverse with the Reality and Space Stones. He warned of a great disturbance across the multiverse, where he found ducks from different universes murdered in gruesome ways. Huey, Dewey, and Louie were skewered and turned into a kebab.
Yes!
Orville's body was burnt to a crisp. Scrooge McDuck had molten gold poured over his head. Donald and Daisy Duck never stood a chance, because their world doesn't allow real violence. Ed the Duck was found shoved down the throat of Andy Peters. And Sergeant Geordie put up a valiant effort, but he just wasn't strong enough and had his head lobbed off.
Oh.
No one was safe. Not cartoon, puppet, gaming, or real duck. If you're one of the special ducks, they're coming for you. There's a lot of travelling to the Duckverse as Darkwing, Gizmo Duck, and Howard search for other ducks to help. This spans across different styles of animation, real life, and games. So you have cartoons in the real world ducks, and puppets in animated worlds, like creating all kinds of weird and fun situations. So more often than not, though, they're always too late, and Magica and Negaduck have, and the rest of the Formidable Five has done their dirty work. Luckily, they managed to save Abby, during which Gizmo Duck sacrifices his life for the others to get away. In the process, he kills the rest of Negaduck's team. Only Magica and Negaduck remain to be stopped. By the end of this, all ducks are gone, apart from Darkwing, Howard the Duck, Abby Mallard, Affleck Duck, Daffy Duck, Count Duckula, and Psyduck. These 7 heroes stand between Magica and Negaduck and the end of the multiverse. Magica betrays Negaduck and takes all of his powers to become the most powerful duck in the multiverse. After a hard-fought battle, it comes down to Darkwing and Magica, with only his wits, skills, and gadgets to aid him. Darkwing seems to be about to lose, but not until Howard, in his dying act, throws him the stones, of which Darkwing quickly whips up a gadget to defeat Magica, leaving him the last duck alive in the multiverse. At this point, he receives the Quackening. The end.
Hey! Fantastic.
And this is going to feature ducks from Darkwing Duck, Looney Tunes, Marvel, Disney, DuckTales, Pokemon, Tiny Toons, Real Life, Yogi Bear, Chicken Little, Dino Duck, Duck Hunt Ducks, Animal Crossing, All the Village Ducks, and Suikoden 3. So this is going to have games.
Suikoden 3.
That's how you pronounce it.
You missed the most important and most powerful duck in existence, the Rose and Jim duck.
He's not sentient though. He's just a normal
duck.
He
is. He turns his head.
He's just a wooden duck.
He's just a wooden duck.
And Peking duck, because that's just me.
No, that's Huey, Dewey, and Louie now.
Yeah.
Harrowing that. I like it,
that.
mate.
I'm into it. I'm very, very much into it. And I don't think anybody else has thought of going in that particular direction. Right, I think I'll go next. No, you guys have put a lot more work into this than I have, so I feel a little bit
professional.
yeah, I know. Yeah, we open on a dark, wooded area where a gaudily painted 1978 Volkswagen LT40 pulls up, and a gang of teenagers disembark. The preppy jock, the nerd, the stoner, the hot redhead, and the glutton all descend upon a small cabin set in the centre of the clearing. Once unpacked and settled, it's late, so they head to bed. In the dead of the night, the group are awoken by a voice coming from the fruit cellar below the living area. Following the sound, they locate a hatch beneath a rug and head down the stairs to find a reel-to-reel tape, books, writings, and most prominently, a tome seemingly covered in human skin. Turning on the reel-to-reel, the gang hears the words of a Professor Nobi, whose notes they leaf through. He's reading from the book. Klatu Barada Niktu. Jinkies! Exclaims the nerd. This book is the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. The glutton gulps loudly, Raruka-ra-red, and jumps, shivering and shaking with fear, into the arms of the stoner. Smash cut to the title screen. Scooby-Doo and the Book of the Dead.
Excellent.
This is genius.
Now, this is the first of a series of the Mystery Inc. gang in the Sam Raimi universe. Over the next 5 years, lads, I want you to gird your loins and prepare yourselves for phase 1. We've got Evil Dead 3, Daphne of Darkness.
Nice.
The Quick and the Fred, starring Sharon Stone and Fred. Barkman, with Scooby-Doo in the Liam Neeson role.
I love Darkman.
Rag Me to Rel, where Shaggy upsets a fortune teller.
Gets his face sucked.
For phases 2 to 22, we have all the properties that Scooby-Doo's encountered and are canon in the Mystery Inc. universe. So get ready for a whole heap of crossovers that no one asked for. We got Kiss, we got the Three Stooges, we got Yogi Bear, and we got Vince McMahon. We're culminating in Batman versus Superman versus Barkman in the summer of 2073. Ratha? Why do you afraid that name, Ratha? Yeah, that's pretty much how that goes.
It's not easy, is it?
That was my Sean Connery impression. The ghost of Sean Connery plays Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, you don't have a jaw because of decomposition.
And that's it, boys.
No, that's enough. That's beautiful.
Excellent. Love it.
I'd watch the shit out of that. I've got on DVD for my son because he was big into Scooby-Doo for a while. I've got
The Evil Dead.
Scooby. No, I've got Scooby-Doo and John Cena. I've got Scooby-Doo and Kiss. I've got what is the other one? Scooby-Doo and The Undertaker. Kane is a baddie on it. Oh, no,
Yes.
they've done
Of course,
so many crossovers.
Planty has just cursed our pod with those words. The evil
When
dead
you
word.
mentioned the description of the characters, and then he went, the redhead, I thought, was he describing the ME lot?
Yeah, you being the redhead.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, shit. Oh, I could have done that. Oh, damn it.
Who's the
Which one
stoner?
of you
It's gotta be
Scooby, though?
Doodles.
I'm the airiest.
Oodles, what have you got? Top that,
Well.
son.
Okay.
And he does.
Right. In a world where teenage girls across the Western world needed frosted tips and white suits, there was a time that this was catered for in spades. The boy bands in the 90s were the single most powerful religious entities, with power equal to Catholicism during the Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition combined. The only barrier preventing the British and American boy band cabals from joining forces and annihilating the Western world was the Atlantic Ocean. 106.5 million kilometre blanket of ice-cold waves and sparse, watery depths. A natural barricade Mother Nature afforded humankind to stop this kind of inevitability. Flash forward to 2022, transport, the internet, and desire have led to the biggest team-up of destruction since the Axis powers. Imagine boy bands such as Boyzone, Westlife, Take That, Five, A1, Blue, East 17, and The Wanted teaming up with heavy hitters such as Boys to Men, New Kids on the Block, NSYNC, Dream Street, and the juggernaut, the Backstreet Boys. No. This would cause the fall of humanity, decency and taste, black skies and endless winters, plagues of velvet and Skechers shoes everywhere, the collapse of the internet, culture and art as we know it. What I pitch today, gentlemen, is a multiverse spanning books, albums, magazines, websites, movies and computer games based on the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. Let me introduce to you the multi-trillion-dollar entity and 1,000-strong army, Megaband. So, this is my multiverse conglomerate. I want, basically, an alternate reality where the Atlantic Ocean didn't exist. And America and Britain combined into a super mega boy band. Those were the days. I'm talking 90s boy band type. You get what I mean? White suits. There's always a scruffy one.
Scaring me a
Remember
little.
Yeah, I know, it's terrifying. This is a horror. This is a
Bit
horror,
of-
mate.
Bit of auto-tune, yeah.
Lots of auto-tune. I was thinking, I was putting my Simon Cowell hat on. I was thinking, cha-ching. Do you know what I mean? I think if I'm going to do a multiverse, I want to make money off it. So, mega band. And the word mega before something nowadays is very, very popular. Mega chippy, mega pint. There's lots of mega stuff, isn't there?
What's a mega chippy, and why have we not got one in Carlisle?
Yeah, mega chippy. It's a thing. You'll see it soon. Mega chippy is a thing. But yeah, mega band. I didn't put much thought into it. I just wanted a world where realities collide, and because obviously some of these bands didn't exist at the same time as each other. Like Boys to Men didn't exist when Westlife was storming the charts and standing up off of stools. Imagine a world where they all came out at the same time and destroyed. Like, let's imagine it was a film. Like, the first one is them all getting together, and there's a war at the beginning, isn't there? And then they're like, let's settle these differences and we can destroy heavy metal, hip-hop. We can destroy all these things together. Dance. The sequel, we've got K-pop bands coming through to join the cabal. All these bands that teenage girls love.
So are these the bad guys then?
Yeah, but we're seeing it from their point of view.
Because then you could have like where different rock bands from different eras.
This is what I was.
come
This is what
together.
I was about to say. I was like, in one of the films or the books or the whatever TV shows, I want like Ozzy Osbourne to get together with like Rob Alford. Like, we've got to stop these, Shannon. I can't do a Brummie accent.
Jesus, it's been the triumvirate of shit accents today, hasn't
Is that
it?
Sean Connery again?
Yeah, Sean Connery. But just imagine how big it'd be, because teenage girls have got loads of money. Loads of money.
Mate,
They're fucking.
If all the 90s rappers would be putting caps in everyone's asses, mate, you wouldn't have a chance.
They're all gone now. This is 2022. They've somehow sucked into this universe. Now it's too late. It's gone. There's no East Coast West Coast feud anymore.
I
They
think
have to
Snoop
join
Dogg would
forces.
survive.
They'd have to join
Ruled by
forces to go against it.
the mega band.
Megaband it's an
No,
unstoppable.
don't forget about
juggernaut.
Dre. Don't forget about Dre.
I had
Forgotten about
I
him.
had-
Unfortunately, when the mega band says we forget about him, we forget about him. All hail the mega band.
Thank you, Stig. Thank you. You've got on board. It's the most powerful thing that's ever happened, and
He's scared.
it culminates to like, you know, like on Fast 10 and Fast 5 and all this. We're gonna have Megaband on the moon. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Remember that scene in Hancock where he wanted the big billboard on the moon or whatever? Megaband. So every night you look up out your window, you can just see it. Megaband.
And the only person that can help us is Wycliffe Jean. Unfortunately, he'll be gone till November. So
Hey,
bang out a look
I
there.
like it. I
This is
like
what I'm
it.
saying. But look how much content you could get out of this. Megaband channel, Megaband t-shirts, Megaband podcasts. Like, everything will be about Megaband to the point where like culture and media won't be a thing anymore. It'll just be Megaband. So what are you Megabanding today? Or who's your favourite member of Megaband?
Megaband escapism. Okay. Yeah, I see
Megaband,
what you
yeah,
mean.
modern Megaband escapism.
I think in the end, though, there won't be members of Megaband. Their minds
some
and
will
bodies will meld together to create the ultimate supreme leader Megaband.
Yeah, Megaband, and it's like Galactus.
With a massive Ronan Keating head. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of those
Looks like Gary Barlow.
fedoras. They'd wear a fedora, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the way
A massive fedora.
You'd have the Brian Harvey where he fell out of a car with his jacket tatey and stuff. And there's so much we've got from Megaband, so much content, and I just think
the
unstoppable.
The big, massive, globulous thing at the end of Akira.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what happens when
That's Megaband.
Megaband pulls all the other artists and bands into him.
Or
and
the end of
consume
Inside.
them. Yeah.
The end of Inside, yeah. I just think, like, if Simon Cowell listened to this, he'd be sat there going, "Can we make this happen, Louis Walsh? Can we make this happen?" And he'd be like, "I want you on my team." That's my bad Irish accent as well. But yeah, Megaband Idol. Everyone's wanting to join Megaband. It's incredible. It's huge. It's bigger than you can possibly imagine. It becomes its own currency. How many Megaband coins have you got? We get paid in Megaband bucks.
It's a hellish view of the inside of your brain. Is what that is.
It's really warm. I'm really hot. So this is what happens to me when in the heat. I don't do well in the heat. But yeah, Megaband.
Wow.
That's my multiverse. It's a multiverse of madness indeed.
You've all scared me in your own unique ways.
Yeah. You wanted us to go, "I want Spider-Man to fight Batman."
Yeah. So
Never.
I knew that was never going to happen. I knew that was never going to happen from here.
Yeah.
I was sat there thinking. I was sat there all week since I've known about it. I was like, "Oh, what's my 2 favourite games I could mix? What's thing?" And I just got inspired on my bike ride. Megaband, like an epiphany.
I have no idea where mine came from.
Was you eating Chinese?
I don't know where it came from. I read a really boring idea. I'm going to touch on it in the green room. I'll talk about like some of the ideas that I had, but I don't know where it came from. I just went, "Oh, what if we did this and then did that?" And I was like, "But it was all ducks."
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the simplest ideas.
At first it was going to be a gig for loads of bands coming together from different multiverses, like
Live Aid
bands, like Live Aid, but then Mega Band Aid. You know what I mean? This, I don't know. I'm thinking that's better. It's just I don't like boy bands, so I thought it'd be a horror. But that's what we've decided anyway. And thank you, Planty, for letting us use our creative juices a little bit. But what I want to know, and I believe you're going to do this, Planty, as the guest.
Well, I'm certainly going to try.
I want to know if there's a heaving sack of just multiverse goo.
My sack is full of goo right now, I can assure you.
Oh, it's blood into our ears.
Thanks to everybody that got involved. We'll start with Ian at Cult Connections, who is my somewhat collaborator on a lot of his shows and mine. We're currently doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi walkthrough, which is a lot of fun, especially as we're having a great time with that show. We think it's probably the best one that's happened yet. Although there's no mods in it, so it is what it is. His idea, he says he thinks it's time for a Marvin, Bender, and C-3PO flat share sitcom.
Love it.
Ooh, you are?
Absolutely,
Yes.
Oh, Bender, I'm sick of cleaning up your cigar butts. You know, that kind of thing, isn't it?
It's my shiny metal ass.
Yeah, exactly. I really liked
rude.
that. Up in thy shed, I vote for a multiverse where Sonic and the Onceler are lovers.
What's the Onceler? What's that?
Out of the Lorax, right? Is it the Lorax or is it something
it's a
else?
Dr. Zeus character.
Yeah, it's Dr.
Yeah.
Zeus.
Thank God.
It's fucking disgusting, but quite sexy as well.
Which one's got the creepiest eyes? That's the
Yeah.
I can't wait for the money shot on that.
Yeah. I hope you're strapped in for this, boys, because Xenos has been in touch. Good evening, modern escapists and Mr. Planty. Mr. Planty. I only get called Misty when I'm usually being asked to leave somewhere, which is probably going to happen once we hit the green room. I've had an absolutely terrible idea for a multiverse crossover, but bear with me. I genuinely think this would work. Imagine the scene. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 launches, and as we know from its trailers, the main opposition is the Tyranids, a vast horde of alien locusts known for generating big, horrible monsters that sweep across star systems, devouring everything they can turn into more big, horrible monsters before leaving for the next set of planets. Pretty sure I saw that film in the 90s. Lieutenant Titus, because people have analysed the bits on his armour enough to identify he's been demoted just from the trailers, clears out the main campaign and receives a transmission from his chapter's captain that a nearly forgotten frontier world on the borders of the Imperium is right in the path of the swarm he's just chased out, and orders him to intervene before another planet gets razed. Titus arrives on the planet, and the first thing he notices is the swamp he's landed in is covered in ruins already. The Tyranids haven't done this. These are crumbling from age. They're clearly centuries old. Doesn't look like any Imperial architecture he's familiar with. Some of the local wildlife, big, bulky quadruped reptiles with a kind of carapace over the back and spikes on their tail. You're not making this easy, are you, son? Take exception to his presence. And they're promptly cut down with his chainsword, splattering blood in the water. A local predator catches the smell and gives chase. Titus is pursued by something hiding under the surface for a few minutes. Unsure of exactly what he's dealing with until he finds himself at the bottom of a waterfall with nowhere left to run, and the beast launches itself out of the water. The Space Marine finds himself grappling with a massive, yellowish-green lizard with an oddly sponge-like cluster of tissues around its neck and a head providing a surprising resistance to its blows. But proves stronger and is able to wrestle the creature to the ground, only to be caught off guard as it rolls over beneath him and spits a massive blast of water directly into his face, sending him reeling. A cry from the cliffs above him catches his attention, and a group of apparent humans in armour that looks to be made from scraps of forged metal and the hides of various animals in bright colours leap down, proceeding to make short work of bizarre alien lizard with surprisingly well-made blades and primitive firearms, which visibly have some kind of crossbow mechanism supporting the actual gun as it fires, along with a variety of weaponised smaller wildlife, including a frog that explodes when thrown into the lizard's face, and a swarm of glowing blue insects that project some kind of steel-strong silk into the creatures to the floor. Then surrounding him, examining his armour. These people clearly have no idea what a Space Marine is, but they recognise the quality of his war gear and weapons and speak just about enough of the same language to be able to identify themselves as hunters. Titus is able to explain that there's a swarm of alien monsters on its way to the planet, and the hunters talk amongst themselves for a moment and then inform him that it sounds like an interesting challenge and they'd be happy to assist him dealing with the swarm, but they'll need to tell their Hunters Guild about it in case reinforcements are needed. Cue the title splash. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 times Monster Hunt and Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
It's genius.
Space Marine sides see Lieutenant Titus working with these apparently primitive humans to bring some of the local apex predators into service against the Tyranid swarm, including fights against Rathalos, the new monster, Garangolem, and the Elder Wizard, Valstrax, which Titus notes is fast and powerful as any Imperial aircraft they could teach the... I'm lost here. The Mechanicus. Mechanicus? Am I right there?
This is like watching a monkey with a stick.
It's exactly right. As an astonishing amount about aerodynamics before confronting the Tyranid Swarm Lord with the aid of the Hunters. Whilst on the Monster Hunter side, missions hunting various Tyranid varieties become available, and the blacksmith learns how to craft their bones and hide into equipment and weapons resembling gear from the Space Marine setting, including a Monster Hunter-styled attempt at replicating Titus's own Space Marine armour. Both games have a focus on dealing with horrible monsters, but Space Marine generally has better swarms of less dangerous enemies to be ploughed through before dealing with big monstrosity in charge of the smaller ones, and Monster Hunter usually has you fighting 1 to 4 larger individual monsters, with the occasional smaller wildlife showing up to intervene. I think it'd be interesting to flip those around, so hunters are dealing with a reasonably large swarm of weaker enemies as their main objectives in the hunts, and run into a bigger one, commanding the swarm towards the end, while Titus gets to go up against some of the bigger individual predators and help him capture to weaponize against the Tyranid horde Apologies for the wall of text, but what do you all think? I'm just going to need a minute. Anybody else?
What I think is, of all the episodes of all the episodes that Gadget is on holiday, this shouldn't have been it. Because he'd have known everything. He'd have understood everything you just said.
He's screaming at his phone right now.
Yeah.
Do you know where I thought it was going to start with? Warhammer versus Alien versus Predator.
I, funnily enough, thought it was
Horizon.
going Warhammer versus the blue kitty planet is where I thought it was going, but it turned out it wasn't.
It's
I
Horizon.
genuinely know nothing about.
Yeah,
Horizon. I don't know nothing about Warhammer, but if you want to get me into Warhammer, you put Monster Hunter in front of it. I'm in.
absolutely. Yeah, that was great, and thanks for making me feel awkward for what was that 30 minutes? Yeah.
Excellent though.
If you
Well,
talk
there's a
like
bit
that
of
to your
feedback.
wife, she'd be so turned on.
Yes. Well, I guess I'll try anything at this point. Yeah.
Do you want to
Not
do
in
the
this
rest
seat,
after
mate.
that? After
Oh
that
yeah. No, I'm. I am one with the Force. The Force is one with me. Right. Okay. Regular contributor and fantastic human being, Super Natty Cat. This was a hard one for me. That's what she said. Because I don't quite understand multiverses. And when a film has multiverses in it, I get all confuddled. And whoever is sat next to me in the cinema has to try and explain that shit whilst trying to concentrate themselves. Difficult.
She's that
And
person.
then she goes on to explain a multiverse perfect. So, my understanding of multiverse is correct. A multiverse where Rick and Morty exist. They can travel to any of the Disney cartoon movies and cause carnage. Childhood ruining, sweary, alcoholic carnage. Now that would be fantastic. Like imagine Rick having to pretend to be in Toy Story and that bit where all the toys are scared of Sid next door because he blows all his toys up with fireworks. But Rick could just blast him to pieces. End of film. Or they could travel to Hercules' world and fight all the Greek mythology monsters. Or totally fuck up the hunter that killed Bambi's mother, the bastard. Anyway, if that's how multiverses work, it is Super Natty Cat. That would be an epic mashup. Rick and Morty versus Disney.
She's just explained Kingdom Hearts in a little weird
Oh,
way.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a
Rick
big
and Morty.
Rick and Morty fan, but I'm down for it.
I like Rick and Morty. I just don't like fans of Rick and Morty.
Oh, they're the worst.
They are terrible.
Yeah.
Those T-shirts like I'm cool. I watch Rick and Morty. It's like no, you're not.
I watch Rick and Morty and hate women. Yeah, great, good on you. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Stop ruining good things for the rest of us,
Yeah,
please.
I
you
do like
fucking
Justin Roiland
neckbeards.
as well. I like him. I think he's good.
Community is one of the greatest things that's ever been put on
It's
TV.
fantastic. Yeah.
And Jesus wept. Anyway, Angry Kurt's next up. Okay, bear with me here. That always starts well, doesn't it? The two universes I'm merging together are Doom and Jurassic Park. That's it. Say no more. I'm in. Where do we sign the check?
Yeah.
If you get a metal version of the Jurassic Park tune.
Yes. What happens in this smashing of universes is that the demon's gate to Earth from Hell has been closed off in the events of the Doom games. However, the demons unlock the ability with their magic to still get access to Earth, but only to past Earth. This takes them back to the Jurassic Age. Unfortunately for planet Earth, the demons develop a fondness for dinosaurs. Sounds
wrong.
sexy. Are able to mate with them. Sounds even sexier. Yes, that's correct. The results are a mashup of demon dinosaur monstrosities which take over Earth and threaten us the future as we know it, as these beings are so powerful that not even the meteorite can make them extinct. So Doomguy goes into hell in the present day and enters a portal the demons have opened to go back to the Jurassic Age and save planet Earth via similar means as to what we've seen in the Doom games, but in a prehistoric environment against demon dinosaurs, because I'd play that game.
I would play that game.
I would, but I don't want to piss on his bonfire. But Turok exists.
I knew you were going to say Turok.
And that is
Yes.
that. That is
Be
that.
nice. Be nice to the listeners
being-
and
I'm being
regular
nice.
Discord members.
I'll tell you
I'm
what,
being
if,
nice.
Yeah, but
and he
that-
knows
if a
I love him.
demon
that'd
wants
be
to fuck a
better.
T-Rex, let him. Do you know what I mean? Just
Who's going to stop it? Who's going to stop it?
Your demons were so preoccupied with whether they could.
A cross between the cyber demon and a T-Rex. Yes, please. A T-Rex with like rocket launcher arms.
Would that
Little
not be?
arms.
Would that not be like those? And again, I'm probably going to have to rely on Biggie for this one because we're roughly about the same age. Those Zoid robot
mate.
dinosaur
Yeah,
toys
yeah,
that used to be wind up. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, hang on. That's enough of old men remember things. Let's move on.
We need to do
Speaking
a
of old
podcast
men
about
remembering
that.
things, yeah, here's Gadget. Evening all. Apologies for my continued absence. It's amazing how you can feel better from one malady and only to end up getting sick with something else right away. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, mate. Anyway, for my Nexus, I'd planned to bring along that I'd read Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris. What are you even to these say? Sugeski this week. It's a superb 70s Soviet science fiction novel which became the inspiration for the Stalker video game series. Oh, cool. It's a short book, and I don't really want to spoil it for people, so all I say is read it. It's an abrasive, cold book, but the story's fascinating and well worth your time.
He hasn't been podcasting for 2 weeks, so he's probably read 5,000 books.
My multiverse idea is one that I know that will tickle Oodles as dopamine receptors
He's
even.
doing that.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? My idea was melding and mashing up of 90s 2000s survival horror. The Umbrella Corporation, in their unlimited capacity for tomfuckery, decide to start fucking around with physics as well as biology, developing a dimension gate so that they can search for more evil things to splice into whatever version of their virus they're currently on. This would result in Resident Evil characters crossing paths and games with Silent Hill, Dino Crisis, Alone in the Dark, Fatal Frame, Clock Tower, Eternal Darkness, and even resulting in Oodles coming. Even resulting in characters from those games ending up back in a place that's revealed to be the location from Sweet Home. Imagine the scares that would be possible across all of these series. Listeners, you can't see Oodles right now, but if you imagine that scene where Stan's dad in South Park is covered in his own jizz, it's that, basically.
It was a spooky ghost.
Yeah.
He knows how to get me going. That would be fucking legit. It'd be too good because it'd ruin other games. Too good.
Wow. I mean, that is some number of... How do the brains of your listeners work? That's what I want to know. Or don't they?
I think we've pickled them over the years.
Same as ours. You heard our pitches.
Sure.
Mega Band.
Wow. Stop saying Mega Band.
Bondage.
No, because I want it to get in your head.
I've got a new job to start tomorrow, and I'm just going to turn up to work.
Mega Band Noodles. Is that the catch up?
Stop trying to make Mega Band work.
That's it.
It's gonna be a thing. Don't worry. Excellent. You read that with aplomb. Is that everything?
Thank God. Yes, that's everything.
You did really well. One take, Planty. Stig, you taking notes.
Wait, it wasn't one take, was it?
Oh, here we go.
Nah, I did much better than me. I very good, thank you. Because
you can fix it in post, mate.
I would have fucking fallen off a cliff with Zenos's feedback.
Beautiful, beautiful nerds. Thank you very much. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk, and please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavours. Next week, we're doing double acts. This has been planned for ages, hasn't it, Planty?
Oh, sure. Why not?
So, yeah, just double acts, your favourite double acts, your least favourite double acts. We're just going to talk double acts. You know what I mean? Abbott and Costello, things like that. Double acts. And I'm looking forward to it. But before we go into the green room, we have a guest, and it's time for him to whore himself out. You've got 5 minutes. Get whoring, Planty.
I'm an expert. I don't need 5 minutes. In and out. I can do it twice in that time, son. We are 100 Things We Learned from Film, where myself and my dear friend John cover a different film every week. We try and learn 100 things from that film. We might be teaching you about, you might say, we might be teaching you about what the cars in the film. We might be teaching you about the book covered in human skin, but we might also be telling you about things that happen in the background. I also do a Simpsons podcast, Everything We Learned from The Simpsons. Two blokes from Northern England trying to make everything that we learned from The Simpsons from America about things that we learned in the UK, such as Costingtons. It's just fucking B&M, innit? And various other daft things. Dr. Nick, could he be Harold Shipman? Who knows? So that's my podcast. That's what I do. But if you listen to any of the kind of modern escapism type podcasts, you probably heard me around. They mentioned at the start, I do kind of get around. This, though, has been brilliant. And I've got to say, before I go, might as well do it. If you aren't give them all your fucking money. That's my punk impression.
Money now.
Then you should be. I'm a very, very proud Biggie Bundle Patreon and
Thank you, sir.
like to give them give them all my money. So you should do the same too, and you will get all the green room stuff that all the fucking paupers are not going to do.
Yeah, it's good stuff. 7 hours worth of content after the main show.
Oh, kill me now.
You know I'm kidding. Excellent. Thank you very much. We will have you back on again, maybe sooner than you realise. Because in the summer, we all like to just go to different places and go on holiday,
Fuck
go
off.
to retreats.
Yeah.
I'm due in the Betty Ford Clinic at some point this summer. Who knows? It's going to happen. But yes, do you fancy joining us in the green room?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. So for all you scrubs that are not patrons, this has been a podcast. Good night. Bye.
Right, Biggie. We're going to do what Gadget did. 3, 2, 1, Biggie. So we'll do that together, yeah? Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Biggie.
You don't need to say 3, 2, 1. Just say Biggie with me after 1.
Do it again.
3, 2, 1, Biggie.
Biggie.